Hi, I wanted to discuss some test taking skills and tips and just some things in general that can help a student succeed in school. Um, I just recently took an algebra exam and got it back, but I will talk to you about that later. How I prepared for this exam was um, basically I do everything that I can to give myself an edge, and I already know what my habits are and everything. So some things I do to help myself is one, I always show up to class. I'm always early to class. I always have my homework ready because it's in algebra, especially in algebra. If I haven't done the homework, algebra is one of those classes. If you don't do it, you just don't know it. It's one of those things you just have to do to understand. At least it is for me. But so I've attended my classes and everything, and I always sit front and center in the room so that I can. It seems to help me be more involved and interact better with the teacher. So I do that. I take a ridiculous amount of notes. If he's written it on the board, I've written it down. If he's said it, I've tried to write it down. But I take notes like nobody's business, basically. I try to talk to get to know the people around me in case there's something I don't understand. I can ask them after class, because maybe they got something I didn't get. When I'm doing my homework, I found it is a lot easier for me to, I take my notes in one notebook, I do my homework in another notebook. And it might seem like a small thing, but it's just something I found that helps a lot. You know, if I'm working on a problem here, all I gotta do is flip through and I can leave it right on the page where there might be an example that can help me do my homework. And that's a lot easier for me than trying to go back in the same notebook and, look and find whatever page and flip back and forth. So I do that. I also, in my notes, he will tell us that whether a certain formula is important or, we will have to know it. He stresses on certain things, and I try to pay attention to when he points something out. And I'll start in my notes, and I make note cards, and carry these around. I got copies in my purse. I keep copies in my backpack. But if I'm just sitting anywhere, got a little bit of time, if like I'm waiting on a prescription, the drugstore, or just waiting on my food to arrive at dinner, if I'm by myself or something, I can go over these. I just try to go over these enough. I want to get them basically to be cemented in my brain so that they are just right there. And I know myself well enough to know that that's not enough. I get pretty freaked out about math tests. So even when I take these to class with me beforehand on the test day, and this is the last thing I'll look at before he hands me the exam. And as soon as he hands me the exam, I will write down the formulas that I think I might have a problem remembering later in the test, because I do tend to get about halfway through the test and it starts getting harder and I start getting a little more freaked out, and I as long as I know that I have these already written down, it helps me stay calm. And it's just knowing that I can go back and look at it. I don't have to worry about what is coming, because I've already tried to take steps to prepare for that, basically. So also when I'm studying, I have my computer here. This is great. The island's great. I can get everything all spread out. I don't feel like I'm cramped up or anything, and I apparently take a lot of room when I study. But also when I'm studying, lots of times if I'm having difficulty, keep the computer here for looking anything up. It's amazing what you can find on the computer. Also, a lot of books, and certainly algebra books. They have a DVD in the back that goes through a lot of different problems for every chapter. That's very helpful when you're just really stuck, because there are always days that he's flying through chapters and you got, a couple of examples of problems that don't resemble anything on your homework at all. So you just need someplace else to look for help, basically. So I got those going all the time, and just other than that, I just try to make sure I got good light. I take the test. I try to get there early and relax. I try to remember that. Before this class, I used to really get wound up over algebra tests because I'm a non-traditional student, which means I'm old. I have not been around algebra for many, many, many years, and some reason it just strikes fear in me for the most part. But I'm doing well in the class. It's just one of those things. It is what it is, and I get there early. I try to relax. I do breathing exercises. I tell myself that if I screw up, it is not the worst thing that's going to happen to me, and not by a long shot. And it seems to help. Just basically, I get there and I have a little pep talk with myself in my head, and it's what works for me. So there's that. But anyway, I just had my last exam, and I got an 88 out of 100. So, it's working. Everything's working. I've managed to have a high B in the class so far. And for me that's good. Considering I haven't done algebra for, 28 years or so, that's very good. But, to help, all my tests have been either A's. I have 1 A and 2 B's. And, what I do to try to bring my grade up from there is, if I'm on the line from maybe a high B to an A, I always turn it in my homework and everything might be the one thing that can push me over the edge and make it an A, which is great. So the homework's a given. It's something I can do with my book open, so I always do it. And but anyway, 88, not bad. I'll take it. And I'm happy with it. So there's that. Thank you.